Hello everyone, welcome back to Getting Started with Angular course. In this chapter, we are going to learn application bootstrapping. Let's begin. You may be wondering what is the meaning of application bootstrapping. Application bootstrapping is the process to initialize and run application on the page. In this chapter, we are going to understand bootstrapping process thoroughly. This process involves two parts. Do you remember? You have to run npm start command to run Angular application. We will understand how npm start command helps to run application, and then what is the entry point. Meaning, in order to see the application, we have to somehow reference a JavaScript, which is entry point to the application. I have opened Visual Studio Code and application is running. Let me minimize the terminal. I have ran npm start command to run the application. So let's open package.json and check scripts start command. When you run start command, it runs ng-serve. We have seen in the last chapter, whenever Angular CLI run command like serve, build, test, it refers to angular.json architect. So let's open angular.json, open projects, e-commerce, architect, and then serve command. Let's focus on the options. Inside option, we only have browser target. Okay, what it has is, it have e-commerce build. E-commerce is nothing but our project name. What this means is, build is referring to architect build option. So let's open build option now. We are interested in options. We have already seen all these options, what they do in previous chapter. Let's do a revision. Output path option will make sure that when build is created, it will dump all the files inside dist/ecommerce folder. Then, to run the application, we need some index.html page. Index option. It takes care of loading the index.html. Let's open index.html from src folder and let's see what it have. It has simple HTML, no reference to any script or CSS, and then we have ECRoot element inside the body. Okay, let's go back to the angular.json and see other option. Main.ts, which is residing inside src main.ts, we can see it here. We will come back to this soon. Then polyfill.ts, inside src polyfill.ts. It have some polyfills that will make our application backward compatible. Then assets, meaning some static resources that has to be copied inside assets folder. Right now we don't have any assets. Styles, src/styles.scss, which is currently a global CSS. You can see it here. Now I will open index.html once again, and you will see that we did not refer any JavaScript. So how everything happens? Okay, to compare that, let's open the running application on the browser. Okay, the application is here. Let's inspect element. Either use F12 or right click and inspect element. If you check body, you can see that there is ECRoot element and there is some HTML. So we will come back to this later. Somehow script references got added, which is runtime.js, polyfill.js, style.js, vendor.js, and main.js. Let's go back to angular.json and try to see what these files could be. I can clearly say that by looking at options, main.js must be main, polyfills.js must be polyfills.ts, and style.js could be style.scss. But using Webpack, it has been converted into JS. So we have figured out what those three files are, but still two files are remaining, runtime.js and vendor.js. Runtime.js is a special file that created by a Webpack to load the modules. So we have to figure out what is vendor.js now. Let's open main.ts. When we load main.ts imports some Angular framework code as well as the code written by ourselves. So what it does is, it keeps the code written by ourselves in main.js and the code imported from the Angular framework in vendor.js. That is how vendor.js is created. And this references will be kept inside index.html and index.html is served. Okay, now let's go to the second phase, which is what is entry point. So over here, entry point is main.ts. Let's open this file. Alright, what we are doing on line number 11 is we are importing platform browser dynamic function and calling it, and that is imported from angular / platform browser dynamic. Basically what happens is whenever you want to run Angular application, we need some platform. Right now the platform is browser. To create a platform, the dependent method and properties are exist inside platform browser dynamic method. So we call that method, and from that we call bootstrap module function, and it asks for Angular module. Right now we have app module as in our root module. This is the way the Angular application bootstrap. Okay, but that's not the end. We have to go little bit more depth of it because we haven't answered how the application got rendered on the page. So for that, let's open app module. App module.ts. Now app module is ng module because we use ng model decorator on top of it. We will see what is ng module in next chapter. And let's only focus on bootstrap property because we are learning about bootstrapping. And bootstrap have an array. Inside the array we have one component called as app component. And let's open app component. You will see that app component is simple JavaScript class which have a title property, and then it have a decorator called component. We have a EC root as in selector. So what happens is, if you look at index.html once again, we have written EC root component. And if you again look at app module.ts, we say that we are going to bootstrap app component. And what is app component? It is EC root tag. That means whenever EC root tag appear on the HTML, it will render a template from template URL of component, which is app component.html. So you can see that the complete HTML is written here. And what else? The CSS is been taken from app component.scss. So that is how complete Angular bootstrapping process. I hope you have understood application bootstrapping process. Thank you for listening. See you soon in next chapter.